QuriousBit, a casual puzzle gaming studio, has raised $2 million in a seed round from Lumikai and General Catalyst. Now, the startup is founded by Ramakrishna Reddy YL and Shubham Joshi, who were formerly the core team members of Play Simple. Remember, Play Simple Games was acquired by MTG for over $500 million in 2021. QuriousBit intends to emulate the successful playbook of breakout puzzle games across subgenres in the casual gaming market, which is untapped and underserved. Joining us now to discuss the fundraise and the firm's plans are Ramakrishna Reddy YL, founder QuriousBit, and Saloni Sehgal, founding general partner at Lumikai, as well as my colleague Shruti. Hi, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Ramakrishna, let me start with you. First, talk to us about your offerings. What kind of games do you plan to offer, and how soon? What is the kind of response that you've seen in your beta phase so far?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, I think you already mentioned, we are into mobile casual games, and we are trying to offer a very distinctive experience, very immersive experience into mobile casual games, apart from match 3 and word games and etc. I think if you look at a lot of these opportunities where there is a gap in terms of core game and in terms of a deeper narrative, so that is where I think we are going to offer a great unique offering in terms of our games. And in terms of timeline, I think we're looking at building a game with deeper mechanics immediately, and then get to unit metrics profitability in 18 to 24 months time, and then offer more games under our studio in the upcoming years.
Okay, so you're aiming profitability in the next 18 to 24 months. Saloni, this is Shruti. Let me quickly come to you. First, tell us what made you bet big on QuriousBit. How excited are you about the casual puzzle gaming opportunity in India, and how big is the opportunity for growth really?
For having us. Look, we're very excited about backing Ram and Shubham. The casual games market is about an $18 billion market, and it's been growing over the last couple of years. But what's been more interesting about this market is that there have been certain sectors within that market, larger market, certain genres which have seen breakout successes, but there have been several subgenres which are similarly growing, but yet haven't kind of seen the kind of innovative gameplays that QuriousBit are aspiring to build. The bar for immersive experiences, especially building for the global markets, has actually increased. There is a lot more pressure on gaming companies to be much more high quality. There is a lot more pressure around user acquisition, and also thinking of very differentiated distribution playbooks. For us, Ram and Shubham, having seen success from seed to scale to exit with Play Simple, having run 7+ P&Ls, having seen revenue cycles of $100 million plus, and having run games profitably, was a great was really great experience, and something that we rarely see in the India market, where you see founders having seen the full life cycle. And that's essentially led us to make this investment. We're also joined by General Catalyst, which is a large global investor as well. And we are aiming to bring a lot of our sector expertise and our focus, along with our large strategic networks, to be able to support the company.
Right. Ramakrishna, if I can bring you back in the conversation, you plan to use the funds to build a gaming studio as well as to hire talent. So elaborate a little bit on these plans. What will be unique about this studio?
Yeah, so I think we're going to build on top of our experience at Play Simple. First of all, I think we're going to use these funds in terms of getting a stellar team on board who have seen 0 to 1 experience and 1 to 10 at least. And at the same time, we are very clear about hiring people who fit with our culture. So that's something that we are trying to do it from day one, rather than just hiring people and then scale it and then figuring out culture later on. And the second thing, I think we're going to invest a lot of our energies and time and money in building tech infrastructures. Like I think Saloni was pointing about the disruptions that are happening in the industry. So to tackle that, I think we're going to invest a lot of funds in scaling internal tech systems and analytical systems, to make us immune to the changes in the market.
Okay. Ramakrishna, Saloni mentioned earlier that the global mobile casual games market is currently worth about $18 billion. It is expected to grow 1.4x to $25 billion by 2027. Now, while the opportunity clearly is huge, tell us how you plan to generate revenues. What is your monetization strategy going to be?
Yeah, so I think our initial monetization strategy would be to tap into in-app advertisements and in-app purchasing.
Okay.
And eventually we will figure out different models like partnerships and direct deals and etc.
Okay. Saloni, let me quickly come back to you. And also let's address the elephant in the room. The real money gaming industry is staring at a tax liability of over 1 lakh crores. What do you make of these show cause notices?
I think, Shruti, we've always maintained that, our mandate has always been much broader than, a sub-vertical and subsector. When we started investing in the market, our essential mandate was to look at companies building at the confluence of culture, technology, and new media. And when we invested across the landscape. We did content bets, we've done platform bets, we've done tools, tech infrastructure, we've done systems of play bets, and very soon we're going to be announcing a few bets on the frontier landscape as well. So for us, look, our exposure to RMG has been limited. It has always been so. I believe, these matters are currently still, while the taxation has been clarified, I believe the current matters are still being debated in the Supreme Court. And for us, we are more interested in seeing what does the future of immersive entertainment and gaming look like over the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years and a decade from now. And, that's been what's been guiding our investment thesis broadly.
Sure. And Saloni, you just spoke about your investment thesis. If you could quickly tell us, you just recently launched a $50 million fund for gaming and media startups. How many companies have you invested in so far? And what are the areas of interest? If you could quickly answer that.
Sure. So, QuriousBit is one of our first investments from Fund 2. We have another one which is going to be announced in another couple of weeks. The way we have essentially sliced the market, has been a little bit looking at the top-down and bottoms-up research that we have covered in terms of, where we see category leadership possibility for Indian startups. So, for example, QuriousBit is a great example of an Indian company building for the world. But at the same time, we're also very keen on looking at game developers who are building for the India market with very differentiated strategies. Last year we backed a company of Zynga executives called GigaFun Studios, who are building casual games but for the India market and innovative casual games for the after content, we've also looked at platform plays. You guys have, looked at Ilo, one of our social gaming platforms, very recently raised capital. So it's broadly a much wider bucket across the landscape.
All right. On that note, we'll have to quickly wrap up our conversation. We wish you both the very best for all your growth plans for QuriousBit. Many thanks, Saloni and Ramakrishna, for joining us on Startup Street.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break. But coming up, good news for all the tea enthusiasts is homegrown Indian teas and wellness brand Vadam Tea has opened its first experience store at the Khan Market in New Delhi. We bring you a special report on the other side when we return. Stay tuned.